Hi everyone, today we are going to make pOHng and I wanted to share a little bit of information about the recipe before we jump right in. It's also known as red curry noodle soup in English, and I'd say the difficulty level is medium because there aren't a lot of really advanced techniques when it comes to this recipe. Just make sure that things don't boil over. Feel free to read over the other information. I want to highlight the key ingredients are Namya sauce and coconut milk. Make sure that you have these two ingredients because if you don't, then it really won't taste how it's supposed to taste. You can really play around with a lot of the other ingredients, but these two ingredients are the ones that are really going to make it taste like pOHng. Alright, with that out of the way, let's just get right into the recipe. I found the easiest ways to separate it into 4 sections. So first we're going to prepare the chicken, flavor the chicken, add some soup taste, and then I'll share the most common condiments to help to flavor the pOHng a little bit more. So let's start with preparing the chicken first. Here's a list of ingredients as well as directions. You can go ahead and take a screenshot so that you can look back on it for reference. Take 1 whole chicken and cut it in half just like this. You're going to cut it in half again. Don't worry too much about the shape because we're just trying to boil the chicken and cook it. Here's the fat, and my mom actually likes to cut that part off, but you can choose to leave it if you want to. Make sure to cut through the chicken like this so that it cooks evenly and it cooks faster when you boil it. Putting it all together, it should look a little something like this. These are the herbs that you are going to cook with the chicken. You're going to have 1 stalk of lemongrass, 5 Kaffir lime leaves, 5 slices of galangal, and 5 branches of young peppercorn. Fill a pot with 12 cups of water and put your chicken pieces in. Put it over a stove and let it boil and put in your herbs along with it. Grab your pOHng noodles and get another pot, a separate pot, and boil these noodles while the chicken is boiling. It'll just save you more time in the end if you do it this way. It's kind of similar to spaghetti noodles. When they're soft, you can put them in a bowl and strainer. While we wait for the chicken to cook, we're going to prepare the ingredients for flavoring the chicken. You can go ahead and take a screenshot of this as well if it's easier for you to follow directions by reading. You will need garlic, shallots, 3 tablespoons of multi-curry paste, 1 can of 4-ounce red curry paste, 1 can of Thai noodle sauce or Namya sauce, chicken bouillon powder or bouillon cubes, mushroom seasoning, salt, and lastly bamboo. I also have to add that the homemade pepper paste is a special recipe that my mom makes to make the broth look more red and colorful. It doesn't really change the flavor, so you can just disregard that ingredient. If you're unfamiliar with cutting bamboo, just cut it in half like this and then you can cut it in strips. This is the easiest way to cut it. With all the right measurements, this is what it should look like. These are all the ingredients that we're going to use to flavor the chicken when it's done boiling, when it's all finished cooking. In your main broth pot, take out the chicken and then we're going to fish out the herbs. Make sure that you turn the stove off or put it on low so that you don't burn yourself, because I accidentally burnt myself. Yeah, don't do that. Then we're going to shred the chicken. It should look something like this, and take out the bones. Some people like to leave the bones, but I personally like it without the bones because then you don't have to deal with eating it with the bones in the soup. Just for reference, we finished step 1 of preparing the chicken and the broth. Now we are on step 2 of flavoring the chicken. So you should have 1 pot of the main broth and a pan that we're going to use to flavor the chicken. The first thing we're going to do is take your pan and add oil in it, as well as the garlic and shallots. Fry them up until they're a golden brown color. Then put the remaining ingredients into the pan and mix it well together. Now we are ready to put the shredded chicken in, and this will really add flavor to the chicken, and your broth is going to taste really, really good with all of these flavors. We are done preparing the chicken, flavoring the chicken, and now we are going to work on soup taste. So you should have 1 main broth pot, 1 pan, and another 3rd little pot that we're going to use for step 3. Just to recap, we have our pan here, our main broth pot, and for step 3, we're gonna take some coconut milk and boil it. Now these ingredients are going to add more flavor to the broth, so you can adjust them as needed, and if you don't really like sardines or quail eggs, then I'd recommend just not including those or making adjustments as you feel needed. To prepare the sardines, we're going to put it in a mortar, and then we're going to put in the fish sauce and the bouillon powder. Now you want to mix these ingredients into the pan with the chicken. Now we are going to put all the ingredients in the pan into the main broth pot. Last but not least, we are going to put in our coconut milk. And then this is a perfect time to put in those quail eggs if you like them. Some people don't like them, so you don't have to put them in if you don't like them. Step 4 is the list of condiments. You're going to want to slice these up and put them off to the side so people can put them in their individual bowls. So it's nice to just have some extra condiments that people can make to individualize their bowl a little bit more, and it really makes every bowl of pOHng very personal. Keep in mind these are optional, so you don't have to prepare these if you don't really want to. When you serve the meal, the personal bowl will look a little something like this. You're going to put the noodles in and just adjust the condiments as you feel needed. If you like it a little bit more sour, you can add some more lime. If you don't like cilantro, you can leave that out. Just play with it, and the flavors are really up to you. Then pour the soup on top and you have your finished bowl of pOHng or red curry noodle soup. I really hope that you guys found this video helpful. If it was, then please hit that like button and consider subscribing if you want to see more recipes in the future. Thanks so much for watching, and follow us on Instagram too so you can see what we're doing on a daily basis. Really appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time.
Mom, it's hot. It's hot. How do I fish it out? Why is it so hot? Ah, it's so hot. Do you just turn it off and do it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my God, did you make water?
Yeah, what the heck happened? Why is there no water?
Because it boiled too long. You need to pour some more water in here.
Oh.